Welcome back to Certified Beef. Me and Brandon are back once again, recapping Vikings, the pressing loss, get into divisional round matchups, and then obviously finish off with Book It with Beef. Obviously, just get right into it. Vikings fall at home to the G-Men 31-24. Brandon, initial thoughts?
Yeah, right from the get-go, this game just didn't feel right. It kind of had the same feel as the Packers game, where after Saquon got that first touchdown for them, even though we were up 7-0, it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm not feeling too hot about this game. And that feeling just kind of stuck there throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, it was never like it was never a point where I was like, oh my God, we're going to win this game. Because, I mean, just me personally being like at the game, it was extremely hard. Just when the defense is on the field. Normally, you know, Brandon, like obviously you've been in a couple of games before. When it's third and long, you normally get super excited. You get all riled up. The crowd's crazy. You're like, let's pressure the quarterback. And like when it was 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 7, it's just like I was just like, bro, like, can we just somehow stop them? And it never worked because they just kept getting first downs. It was extremely hard to watch. I mean, I knew Brandon. They were talking about part of my take a ton. I don't know about you, but I knew. You knew this was coming, right?
That we're gonna lose?
More like the defense was finally going to let us down to the point where we can't recover, even if it's a close game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because also with this game, I don't know if you noticed it, but there was like very little possessions in this game. I think the Vikings punted like 2 or 3 times, and the rest were scoring drives. And the Giants had I think they possessed the ball besides the kneel down with like 7 times, and they scored on 5 of those possessions. So it was definitely a points were at a premium in this game. I mean, leads me in this stat, and I don't know if you saw this stat, Brandon, but the Vikings are the first team in NFL history to lose regular season or postseason with a pass or the team throwing for over 80% passing, with giving up 0 sacks or turning the ball over 0 times.
I did.
First team in NFL. It's crazy. That's how bad the defense was.
Yeah.
Defense was so bad that we couldn't even make up. They couldn't even make up even a little bit because the offense played so well. I mean, obviously, we'll get it. Like the 4th down to end the game was probably the only thing the offense did bad this game, but or else otherwise the offense played a very solid game. Like when they were like obviously the punts, I think they pretty much went 3 and out almost every time they punted. But or else on those scoring drives, it really felt like they were moving the ball down the field relatively easily when they were scoring.
Oh yeah. There was a few missed opportunities. The big one obviously was Irv Smith on that 3rd down to move the chains.
Oh my God,
that was very embarrassing, and that just.
Did we go for it though? Did we go for it after that?
I do not remember.
Yeah,
we punted. I'm pretty sure
for me. Yeah, no, that was the even though Irv Smith got a touchdown pass, that was the for me. Goddamn, what the fuck? That was the Irv Smith. You can pack your locker up and no point in coming back to the team because you have been injured, which can't really control much, but just you've had disappointing plays with us throughout your tenure here. And that just summed it up to a T, like an easy first down, and he just completely drops it. That was definitely a point where I was just like, yeah, you're done.
But we should also be thanking Irv Smith because if we didn't have him, then we also wouldn't have T.J. Hawkinson. So that's the upside to it.
That's like a sad upside. Like Irv Smith, you are the reason why we have T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, the first like the for sure turning point in the game for me at least was the horrible false start on the Vikings on that QB sneak on what
On
was it,
Darrisaw?
4th and 1, when it wasn't a false start by any means at all. Unless I like
He
the
did
replay on
flinch.
the
He did flinch before the ball, but when you compare that to Andrew Thomas, it's hard to say that.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a turning point in the game, but that was literally one of the worst non-false start calls ever. Like, Zadarius Smith literally gave up on the play. He gave up on the play because that's how bad it was. I think the entire defense gave up on the play because I know Patrick Peterson is like, he's given up a lot of yards. Obviously, the whole defense has, but I don't think he gives up that easy of a post route to the inside, especially when there was really no safety there. I don't think he gives up that easy of a post route to the goalpost that easy for a touchdown. I mean, I didn't see the flinch enough. I mean, the replay though, like I didn't know if they showed it on there, but the replay on the Jumbotron looked like it was like clean. There was nothing that happened.
No, he
and a
did,
little.
he did
There's
flinch.
no way. Like that. Like, was it a large flinch or was it like a little flinch? Like, I know that sounds stupid.
It was enough to get called. Like, if you're playing it by the rule book, it's enough to get called.
Yeah.
I was just curious how they saw it because he's on the interior of the line, and it's not like he flinched that much backwards where you would.
Was there a tight end covering him up?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. But that for me, at least, I don't know about you, Brandon, but that was the turning point for me because we were down 21-24, and we were driving. Like that drive, we were moving the ball pretty easily, and we got to that 4th and 1. It was like, okay, we're gonna go for it for sure. And I think that really just like set the mood for the rest of the game. For me, at least, I think Kevin O'Connell definitely showed some rookie tendencies in this game, coaching wise.
Yeah.
When after the Giants scored to go up 31-24, he ran a running back screen 1st and 10. Previously in the game, I don't remember what drive it was. I think it might have even been the drive where they got the false start. He ran a running back screen, same side as he did in that drive too, -2 yards. Same thing again. And then he runs a tight end screen off of that play. I'm like, you just ran a running back screen. You're going to run a tight end screen. And they covered it up easily. You got like 2 yards. And then you leave yourself with 3rd and 10. Obviously, Kirk was pressured pretty like a lot, but he wasn't sacked, which I'm surprised he wasn't. Kind of baffling. But that was one thing that I thought. And then obviously the 3rd and 1, the trick play to Kirk Cousins, that was the most. That was
awful.
I thought Mike Zimmer started head coaching the Vikings again. That was the most Mike Zimmer desperation play. It felt like we needed to make a desperate play for no reason. When it was 3rd and 1, like that was by far one of the worst play calls. Like you can't. I want to put the blame on Jefferson because Kirk Cousins. There was 3 Giants defenders near him, but he's not a quarterback, so he doesn't see it that well. He's just told what to do, and he goes from there. But yeah, just some scenarios where Kevin O'Connell definitely made some rookie coaching tendencies.
Yeah, he'll definitely need to get better in those areas on not realizing the situational awareness, because 3rd and 1 in a playoff game, when you're already down points, that's not the time to be breaking out your new trick in the book.
Yeah, that's not something you do in the first quarter either.
No, like if that's
or
like
the first half.
That's like the 3rd or 4th quarter, like late 3rd, early 4th, sure. Like whatever. Like, but not when you get a chance at 3rd and 1 to try and extend the drive. No way.
Yeah. I know we've talked about the Vikings a lot, but you got to give credit to the Giants. I think they played this game perfectly. I think they knew that it was going to be a shootout in a sense, like there's going to be a lot of points, but they did get the stops when they needed to. And in the second half, they pretty much blanketed Justin Jefferson. He was pretty much a no-show in the second half. I'm pretty sure he wasn't targeted in the fourth quarter at all.
He wasn't targeted on the final drive for sure. I know that part.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know who told me this, but someone told me that he wasn't targeted from the third quarter with 1:30 left.
I believe
game.
you are.
He wasn't
yes.
He wasn't targeted the rest of the game. I mean, obviously double coverage and stuff, but there's ways to get him open, and we've done that all year. I felt like there wasn't enough motion. Also, I feel like we've used a lot of motion and like change or see what the defense is doing or move Justin Jefferson around, and I feel like that wasn't done enough in this game. But I mean, it's disappointing we lost. I feel like you shouldn't lose a home playoff game, especially after a season like that. But I wasn't that disappointed just because you knew what this team was with the defense and stuff, and the offense had to play absolutely perfect, which they honestly kind of did. Like, you can't expect to score points on every drive, but going 3-and-out definitely doesn't help on two of them because field position wise and stuff like that. But I'm not super disappointed in like the fact that we lost because, I mean, rookie coach, new regime. I feel like we were just, like I've said before, playing with house money. There's definitely a lot to look forward to in the offseason.
Is there? Oh, there's going to be so many people leaving.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look forward to in ways like what's going to happen with the team, because there's definitely going to be a roster turnover for sure. You would think
there has to be.
There's going to be. I mean, we can just lead into that too. Like, I think we've touched enough on the game.
Yeah.
I think for sure you got to get rid of Ed Donatel.
How much is it him though? Like, K-Fan, like Paul Allen and everybody on there is like arguing how much is it Ed Donatel and how much is it the players?
And well, I'm not saying the players don't. I'm not saying the players or whatever don't have anything to do with it. I think the problem was with Ed is he didn't change up his defense at all. Like, you have to have some sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Adjustments. You have to have in-game adjustments. There was none all season. He ran the same coverage all game. He doesn't disguise any looks. Like, you can tell when the Vikings are going to bring pressure almost every time. You can tell what coverage they're running every single time. They're playing a 2-deep shell every single play. You look at other teams like Dallas, especially, like they've showed it multiple times. Dan Quinn does a great job at disguising coverages. What maybe looks like man will switch into a zone or whatever. With the Vikings, it's like whatever they line up in, that's what they're running. There's no disguising it. The problem is with I'm not saying it's all Ed's fault by any means. I think that there's a lot of players that didn't play their best this year, but the problem with him is that the fact that he kept repeating the mentality of, oh, this is bend, don't break. We're going to give up a bunch of yards, but we're not going to give up points in the red area. But statistically wise, we were one of the worst at everything. We were still one of the worst red zone defenses. And against a good offense or just an offense that can move the ball or figures you out, you're not going to be able to you're not going to play a bend, don't break defense all the time, because if you give up a bunch of yards, you're going to end up giving up a bunch of points.
Yep.
So when it comes to this offseason, okay, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
For some reason, when I saw that Ed Donatel early in the week was like, I think you're going to like the way we play, like the veteran players are taking over. It shouldn't resort to that at all. You're the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You need to make the adjustments yourself.
You can tell that he lost the defense a long time ago, and you could tell that they had to motivate themselves because there was nothing to that. And I think also I think this is obviously it's tough being a rookie head coach, but you got to think that Kevin O'Connell has got to be going up to Ed and being like, dude, we got to do something different here.
Oh yeah.
We can't maybe he just had a respect for him because Ed is a long tenured guy in the NFL, but you're the head coach. You got to step in at some point and be like, we got to do something different. Our team is not going to be successful if we give this any. Because the thing is that there was enough talent on this defense to where they could have at least been a middle of the road defense. And a middle of the road defense could have made us a Super Bowl contender.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like that's how bad the defense was, because our offense is just fine. Like, don't get me wrong. But I mean, going into the offseason, like, do you want Ed gone?
Yeah, I think he should just go. I want
yeah.
We need another young guy to come with. I know.
Yeah, I agree.
I've been hearing that if Brandon Staley gets fired from the Chargers, that we should go after him, since he got him and O'Connell.
I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be mad about that, because
No.
I think that he's not. I think he's a bad head coach, but I don't think he's a bad defense coordinator. No, I don't disagree with that. Also, you brought up scheme wise, and the problem is, I understand, like, oh, these players need to like buy into the scheme. I also think that there's a chance. I think that there's like these players that we have, like the roster we have. I don't think they fit the scheme that Ed Donatello runs.
No, if you're going to have.
No way. Like, are you joking? What I just said?
No. Like, I'm saying you're 100% correct. Like, I think that we did not have the players for that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Like,
you should be dropping a pass rusher like Daniil Hunter into coverage. No way. That should not happen ever.
No. Well, and like the funny thing is it's considered a 3-4 defense, but yet we rushed 4 all year long,
and 5.
We barely had a 5-man front. Barely, but it was mainly a 4-man front. Like, how is that considered a 3-4 defense?
Yeah,
I didn't understand that.
And
I mean,
also,
the only go ahead.
What I've heard is that the middle of the field was open all year. If you're running a 3-4 defense, it seems like that should be covered up pretty well. That nobody should be getting open in the middle of the field, and yet it happened all the time.
Well, the problem is you're running a 2-deep shell. 2-deep shell leaves, I forgot what it's called, but it leaves like 15 to 20 yards down the field, wide open in the middle of the field generally. And if you can attack that, it's.
But even like the short routes, like the drags and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like that's you gotta cover that.
But that's zone coverage for you.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, no, that's supposed.
Well, that's not passing off assignments then if it's zone coverage, or it's just people getting caught on drags and stuff like that. And
I mean, the only player that really fit the scheme was Zadarius Smith, because he came from that in Green Bay.
Yeah.
He was really the only one that fit that scheme. And the problem is we rushed 4 all year long, got 0 pressure, and we're just like, let's not blitz ever. Let's keep running. Let's keep having drop 7 coverage, because that's obviously working.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, I don't think there's going to be much change with the offense. Do you see anything really happening?
It's going to be interesting.
Adam Thielen is definitely the main topic if you're talking about offense.
Yeah. If we sign him, it's going to be to a definitely like team friendly deal.
But he's still under contract.
Oh, that's true. We might do the thing that like the Eagles did with Fletcher Cox, just cut him and then re-sign him to a lesser deal. But I
can't remember what his dead cap is. I
also know that people are talking about that Cook should also maybe be showing the door.
Why?
He was such a boomer bust running back this year.
Also, but the problem is the offensive line was not good in half the season for him.
That's also
like
true.
He's still like, he was healthy all year long,
which was surprising.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, this last game, he looked good, in my opinion. I thought he looked good. Like, his cuts were clean. His burst was there. Like, he was hitting the hole hard. I thought he looked fine. I don't think there's a need to release him yet. Because the thing is, like, you might as well keep him while he's still good, unless he shows a massive regression, which he still had another 1,000-yard season. Why should he have to go? Like, keep that 1-2 punch. Maybe not use him. Maybe use Alexander Madison more. Unless I don't know. They might not re-sign him because he's a free agent.
I hope we do.
Maybe he'll do a team-friendly deal.
I don't think so.
But obviously, Adam Thielen is definitely the topic of discussion. I know people want to say, like, oh, get rid of Kirk. But to my point is like, people thought Matthew Stafford was a really good quarterback, and they're like, oh, you put him in the right system, he could win. Not saying we have the right system for Kirk Cousins, but the level he played at this year, I would say, is almost similar to what Matthew Stafford played like, maybe not as good last year, and they won the Super Bowl. The problem is we didn't have a defense, and they did. Yes. So I think the whole narrative that Kirk Cousins can't win, I think it's more that he has shown that he's just not clutch in some situations. But this year he was clutch all year, besides that 4th down play.
But people are blaming like the entire game on Kirk. No, Kirk did just fine.
Kirk played fine. He played good. Like he was like 31 for 39 for 273 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's on the defense playing absolutely horrible.
I mean, like the 4th down, like I'll talk about it quickly. Like the 4th down play, like I know that it's like horrible to throw the ball to like Hawkinson there because it's just a dead route. But why is Hawkinson even running a 5-yard out route?
I've heard
that makes 0 sense to me.
I've heard that it was either on Hawkinson that he didn't know to convert like the 3-yard to make it like an 8-yard in his mind or something like that. Or I don't know. I forgot the second reason. That was like one of the main things I heard though, was that, and also Kirk was under so much pressure on that play.
Yeah,
that he had. I mean, like, there's no point in taking a sack. You'd rather just try and give your dude a chance.
No, I mean for sure. But I mean the route that he ran, that was that route has no chance of going anywhere.
No,
you have to run like a crossing route or a drag route where he's running. Hawkinson was pretty much not even moving when he caught the ball.
Yeah.
So, but either way, I don't think Kirk Cousins is a problem. Did you see the interview while they were cleaning out lockers of JJ?
I did not.
So he was talking about the season. He was just basically like, yeah, it's disappointing. Or he's like, we had a great season, but the success is winning the Super Bowl, getting there or whatever. And they kept bombarding him about a contract extension because he can do that after this year.
Yeah.
And he was basically like, I'm just not worried about that. Like, I'm going to get paid when I get paid.
I know he said his main goal is the Super Bowl, to get a Super Bowl somewhere.
Yeah, and he's just like, which I'm like, that might not be here.
Yeah.
But I mean, he just kept saying like, that's not my goal. Like then they're like, oh, the market for wide receivers is this, and he's like, I'm going to get paid what I'm going to get paid. I can't really control that. Do you think that's him just smoke screen, or do you think that's him just being truth? Because in my opinion, I think that's truth. Like, he never has. I think over the years, like the years of him being on the Vikings, he doesn't come across as being that guy who's super overly confident off the field.
No,
which he is on the field, but that's just no. Like he is very. I feel like he's super humble off the field. Like obviously on the field, like his game talks, so he can be confident as fuck on the field. But
yeah,
when he's off the field, I feel like he's just a very humble guy, and I felt like what he was saying was truth.
Yeah. We better just pay him what he wants. He is going to reset the wide receiver market for sure. There's no doubt in my mind about that. He'll probably get the highest contract ever for wide receivers.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And if it's not by us, that's going to be a super sad day.
No, I think it will. I feel like it has to.
I'm still in the camp that's either going to be us or the Saints. That's my 2 picks.
Yeah. The only thing is with the Saints, though, is their franchise is going in a weird direction that he might not want to play with, though.
That's true.
He also might want to go he might want to go to, I mean, it's crazy. Like, he might want to go to Cincinnati.
I could
and play with Joe Burrow. And I don't know how they would do that because T. Higgins got to get paid still. Jamar's got to get paid, but
you swing a deal.
Yeah. But going in the offseason, obviously still the defense, though, like what are some things that you could see happening or you see like people that might get released or just anything moves-wise that you could see happening that's going to change the defense going into next year?
All the old dudes are getting released. Probably not, but I wouldn't be the most shocked if they showed Kendricks and Daniil and even Harrison Smith the door in this offseason.
Yeah.
Peterson,
that's
probably
because
Peterson was a 1-year deal again, right?
Yeah, I don't want him back. Like as good as he played this year I guess I can't say that, but
he played
he
good
didn't play bad
for the first like 3 quarters of the season, and then it just went down.
Yeah, like he played better than he did the previous season for us, but I feel like we need to let these young guys play.
Yeah.
At corner, especially. Even like safety. The problem is with Harrison Smith is I think he still plays at a high enough level to where
I agree.
you keep him. I think
you keep him until Lewis Seen has proven himself more.
Yeah. I don't know. People were talking about, I was seeing like reports about I was gonna look at an NFL thing, but I forgot to. But people were talking about Kendricks maybe getting the boot last off season.
Yep.
So they're definitely gonna have to figure something out because I'm pretty sure we're in like cap hell.
Yeah, but like this year, like I love Eric Kendricks, but this year he just looked a step slower, and it was hard to watch, especially in that playoff game. Oh, that was a.
Yeah, no, he was. Jordan Hicks was. I would say like they're the same age. I think he was objectively better this year than Kendricks, and that is like. I
feel like they were both not that great though.
Jordan Hicks was a lot better than Kendricks. A lot better. In my opinion, at least, just like in the run game. I mean, both weren't great in the pass game, but I felt like Jordan Hicks made more plays this year than Kendricks.
Yeah, in the run
which is sad because Kendricks, I feel like Kendricks wasn't that bad the previous season. And I don't know what happened to him because he was still like a top 10 interior linebacker. And now it's just like, what the fuck happened? That's a problem with our defense. It's so fucking old.
Yeah.
It is so old. It's going to be weird. Like you got expiring contracts with Pat Pete. Shannon Sullivan was a 1-year deal. So it's going to be, who knows if the defense is going to be any better, but the problem is with our team, though, like the offense, I think is good because it's still young enough. Like the offensive line is young. You got KJ and Jefferson; they're young. Kirk is obviously going to get replaced eventually, but it's not bad. And Hawkinson's not that old. But the defense is. I feel like there's going to be a lot of growing pains next year, but maybe they'll be better. I have no idea.
This is going to be the offseason for Kwesi to prove himself to all the Vikings fans out there because this year, his free agents haven't really hit.
I feel like Harrison Phillips was actually probably our best signing.
But you expect more sacks out of him than 1.5.
He's not a pass rusher though.
But they're like Paul Allen was saying that they should get at least 6 out of him.
I mean, I felt like he had a lot of like pivotal plays in games. Though.
He did. Like, he was a good run stuffer.
I mean, he was the replacement for Michael Pierce because we signed Michael Pierce to that big deal, and Michael Pierce was just awful.
Yeah.
So we got rid of him and we signed Harrison.
Dalvin Tomlinson this year though, he played really good. I liked him.
Yeah, he stepped up after that contract we signed him. He stepped up. He played good. But yeah, I mean, this season, in my opinion, was my favorite Vikings team. Obviously at like the 2017, but I mean, for me at least, like I don't know, I just felt like all this like the stuff that happened like with Kirko chains and all that, like all that stuff just made me like fell in love with this team. But it sucks that it has to end this way. But I'm also excited to see what happens in the future because like the thing is like we got the taste of what this like feeling is like of being number 1 in the NFC North again, and it feels like we have a chance to be able to sustain it like the Packers have because we have no idea what's going to happen with the Packers. I do think the Lions are going to be good again next year. They probably could contend with us, but I still think we have the capability to do what we just did this year and win the North again and maybe even be contenders. But obviously defense has got to change. So I don't know. It sucks that it ends this way, but I feel like it's I was over the game in like 10 minutes. Like I wasn't even that. I was just like, well, okay, whatever. Like we had a good season. Obviously a playoff win would have been nice, but I didn't really have any high expectations just because of the way the team has played, especially with that defense. But I feel like it was an eye-opening season into next year.
Yeah, just makes the 13-4 all that more impressive. So on to the next one.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously 2017 we went to the title game, but I felt like there was, I don't know, like the thing is the other teams around us were still so good in the division, or still good in the division. So it made it harder for us to go, and plus the defense got so much worse. Honestly, Brandon, one thing though, I honestly, like, I know this sounds stupid, but I think Mike Zimmer would have been a better defense coordinator than Ed Donatel this year.
Oh yeah.
I think that's how bad he was. I think the defense would have been a middle of the road defense, and I know that Zimmer was so bad with them. The problem is if you kept if you would have had Zimmer as the defensive coordinator, it would have been awful because the whole team hated him.
No. It was, what we should do is we should fire Donatel, and we should hire Mike Zimmer, but as a remote defensive coordinator, so he doesn't come into work at all, but he calls plays from at home. There you go. He can't intimidate anybody on the team, but he can still call defense.
Yeah. I don't know. It would just be nice to have a different defensive coordinator. I don't know. Well, that was a lot about the Vikings.
But we're just airing everything out. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I was just fine with it. It's just it's like weird because like there's when you lose in the playoffs, you get super disappointed and you're down. But I felt like I was like more intrigued because I feel like this team there's still a lot. There's more to come from this team.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully they're not like the Twins and they're relevant for like 2-3 years and then they go back to the bottom.
That's the only thing I'm scared about though, with how old the defense is getting and like the turnover of the roster. Like I don't know what type of turnover is going to happen this offseason, but I'm afraid that we just might go in a ditch. Like go back to a losing season.
Who knows? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's definitely more of a deep dive once we get there later on in the off season. All right, enough about the Vikings there, Brandon. Let's get into Divisional Round Playoffs.
Yes, sir. So we got 4 games to go look at to start. Yeah, sure. We got Jaguars at Chiefs Saturday, 3:30 start. I don't think the Jaguars got any more magic in them. I think this is a team now you do want to play in the playoffs. Chiefs by 1 million here.
So you're telling me that what magic just because they came back, or do you think that? I think it was the Chargers just charging.
That too.
I think the Chargers are,
but also
the Chargers are just the Chargers.
I mean, I don't know. I think the Chiefs are just too high powered at this point. They overmatch them.
The one thing I'm worried about with the Jags is that they're playing on the road. I feel like they play much better at home. But I still think the Chiefs are frauds. Still bent on that take. I'm not going to let it go. I think the Jags keep this one close. I think they keep it close. It's hard to pick against Mahomes. Like, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday though, Brandon. So that makes me like want to take the Jags, but it's like you can't bet against Mahomes. And I don't know, an extra week of preparation too, and like rest for that team.
Are all the one seeds gonna lose again this time?
Well, who's the one seed?
The Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's tough to like not. I mean, I want to pick against the Chiefs, but I don't think I can. Like, I think the Chiefs will probably win this game. I definitely think an X factor though for like the Jags, obviously, like I think it showed in this game too. This last game is Doug Peterson. Just the fact that he's got that playoff success. Even Trevor Lawrence though, just like he's played a bunch of meaningful games throughout his career. In college, obviously high school, whatever. All the top quarterbacks like win state title games. But yeah, he's played in these high pressure games before, and I don't think that's gonna scare him. like, I mean, it's hard to say like he can't do it because dude threw 4 interceptions in a quarter and a half and led his team back like this. He obviously doesn't have any lack of confidence. Definitely, it was crazy that he even was able to make a comeback off that. But I think the Jags keep it within one score. But I think the Chiefs win at home and maybe get to host a playoff game. We'll see.
Once he can motivate me to make a sandwich, I'll believe in Trevor Lawrence. All right.
What?
You've seen that. I know you have. Giants.
Oh, was it like when he was talking in the tunnel or whatever?
Yes.
I didn't see the video. I just saw like the caption.
Giants Eagles Saturday night. I don't think the Eagles are going to give up 70 rushing yards to Daniel Jones and 300 passing yards, so I'm going to take the Eagles.
The one thing, obviously, I think the Eagles are definitely a better team. The one thing I'm worried about, though, is how bad they played in that last game in week 18. They played horrible in that game and barely squeaked it out over the practice squad players. So it worries me there. But they are getting healthier. I'm pretty sure they got some key pieces on defense coming back. Lane Johnson is going to play, which is huge because apparently like he's like their best player, I guess, because when he doesn't play, they're god awful. But I think there's something to say that the Giants, like the fact that they kept it close even with their backups, they played a pretty much flawless game against the Vikings. Definitely think this is gonna. I think the divisional factor still plays too because that is something that I think is definitely overlooked when it comes to the playoffs. Like I know there's like a thing about saying like it's hard to beat teams 3 times, which is just false because the record for teams to beat the team or that have played each other twice or whatever their divisional opponents are 2-0 going into the game are 21-14. So it's not really a stat that is credible, but I think the Giants are playing after that game too. Like they have they have a lot of momentum coming in, and they have a game under their belt in the playoffs. And who knows what Eagles team is going to show up? That's the thing for me at least. I don't know about you, Brandon, but for me, I don't know what Eagles team is going to show up in this game. Especially with Jalen Hurts having very little playoff experience. I know Daniel Jones doesn't, but he still does. He just played, and he was easily the best quarterback in the wild card round.
Yeah.
He was fucking phenomenal. Oh my God, just thinking about it, like the fucking Statue of Liberty, like they really just clowned our asses.
That was a sick play.
Yeah. Huh?
That was a sick play.
A sick play that went 2 yards, but still, like it was such a clown move that because they're like, oh my God, they can't stop us doing anything. So then they're like, okay, just like fuck it, whatever. We'll just run this simple little play like we're playing 500 at the park.
All right. Game of the weekend, Sunday, 2 p.m. Bengals, Bills. This is for sure, hopefully, gonna be the best wildcard game. Probably maybe even the best playoff game in general. It's gonna be electric when the Undertaker's music just starts playing, and then Damar Hamlin walks out of the tunnel, gets everybody.
Dude, he's definitely gonna be. He's definitely gonna be there. There's no way you don't bring him out for this game because it might be your only last home game.
Well, yeah, especially since he sat at home for the last one.
Unless he physically can't play, but I think they're playing.
He can fly.
Can't play.
He's gonna be fine.
Okay, I know. Maybe unless doctors are like, nope, he can't go. So then, which is whatever if they can't. But if doctors say he can, he's definitely going to be there. That's why they didn't bring him out the last game because last game it should have been a cakewalk. I don't know how the fuck they struggled so bad against the Dolphins.
Don't know.
I think this is going to be the worst game of the weekend.
Why? That's hot.
Offensive lines are so bad right now for both teams, and both defenses are really good.
That means that should be an exciting turnover-filled game.
Yeah, maybe. But Joe Burrow doesn't really turn the ball over that much, and Josh Allen loves to. So it might end up just being a fucking Cincinnati ass whooping then. But if DeMar Hamlin shows up, that's like 10 points right there. That place is going to be so fucking loud. I think. I mean, they might break the Arrowhead record. It's gonna be that loud.
It might be.
But it got so loud at the Vikings. There was one time or whatever at the Vikings game. It said 123 decibels, which I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's correct. Record.
No, it showed it on the decibel meter. I'm not saying it is, but if it
I don't think the scoreboard decibel meter is correct.
Hey, whatever. If it's not, if it is,
you feel good about yourself.
Well, I mean, I wasn't even screaming, so I mean, because I didn't want to have like no voice. Plus, I was saving it for the second half, anyways. And I mean, it didn't mean anything, but this game still does have potential to be, a great an electric game. I just have a feeling it won't be.
Cowboys, 49ers, last game of division round weekend, 5:30 start on Sunday. Cowboys coming off a flying high after that win in Tampa Bay, absolutely destroying the Buccaneers. I don't see that momentum continuing in Santa Clara. I think the 49ers are just too good, too consistent that they won't let the Cowboys beat them. They'll win by, I'm guessing, at least 10.
Wow, that is bold. I think, I don't even know what the fuck I was just about to say. Throwback to 90s football, though. Good old rivalry here. You really think that they should stick with Brett Maher brand like they are, or you think they just get rid of him? Because that was the craziest thing I've ever fucking seen.
He was good up until that point. I think he's fine.
If he misses one extra point next week, I guarantee they don't kick another one unless they're up. If it's like tie game, or if they're down, they're gonna go for 2. There's no way they put it.
He's got a short leash, but I wanted to see it. Stick with them.
I wanted to see them because he's never missed from 60 plus. I wanted them to like get in a position where they had a 60 plus yard field goal to see if he actually had the yips. Because if he missed one, that would have been funny. But I mean that was easily the worst thing I've ever seen from a kicker. Like you do 33-yard field goals all the time because
are you sure? I can think of one other instance that's worse.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, bro.
Okay, yes, I understand the whole thing. Yes, it was one kick, but missing 4 of them in a row. Dude, I understand Blair Walsh. That was like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. But I guarantee you Blair Walsh would make it at least 1 out of 4 from there.
Yeah, probably.
Even with the laces in, like, I don't think it matters. I mean, I do agree with you though. I don't agree with you that they're going to win by 10, but I think this will be a lot closer than that. I think it'll probably be like a 3-point game, but I think the 49ers probably win just because I think they're more of a complete team than Dallas. If Dallas can pressure Brock Purdy though, which I don't know how their pass blocking is because their run blocking is insane. The 49ers is, but if their pass blocking doesn't hold up, I definitely think they can. That would be like where it's going to make a difference for them to win this game. Plus, who knows? They might not like Seattle did it in the first half where I was able to score on the 49ers, but who knows? Dallas might just if they ain't come out flat by any means. That that defense is so good to where they're not going to be able to make up for it. They need to have Dak from Monday night show up. If they don't have Dak for Monday night, they are fucked because Dak was diamond out there last night. He was doing great. Also, Brandon, I want to just talk about it. I think it's bullshit with the Super Wild Card that they have a Monday night game, and then the team and then I mean obviously they don't have a control of who wins games, but the fact that the 49ers have 2 days rest over the Cowboys is fucking stupid. I don't know about you, but I think that's dumb, and I think they need to just do Saturday and Sunday to make it fair.
It's called being good enough to afford that you're a higher seed than them.
But that's not how that works. That just because you have a higher seed doesn't mean you should get 2 days more rest. That's the whole point of having a higher seed is to get the 1 seed so you have an extra week of rest. You shouldn't just get the benefit because you got scheduled. Like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of lame that they do just have a Monday Night Football game. Like, I just don't understand the point. Like, just have Joe Buck and Troy Aikman just do some other night.
Because why not? It's more football over 3 days compared to 2.
Oh, also, I wanted to ask you. I just, for some reason, didn't pay attention to the fucking Chargers and Jags game. Did you watch it?
No, not really. I watched them go up 27.
Okay, because I was going to ask about the announcing, because that was a big thing online.
Yeah.
How bad it was. It was just this absolute snooze fest.
Mm-hmm. And they go for 2.
One of the
Doug
greatest
Peterson
comebacks.
has some balls on him. Yes, he does. It's so monotone.
When it was like one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history, and I know
you hate Chris Collinsworth, but him and Al Michaels made a good pairing that Al Michaels would actually get excited with stuff.
Well, I think the problem is with Al Michaels now is he checked out after last year.
Oh yeah.
He completely checked out
for sure.
And the problem is he's getting paid so much money, so he doesn't give a fuck. Plus, he's been calling shitty Thursday night football games all year. And you've seen it in the Thursday night games you watch him. He progressively has gotten worse throughout the season. Like, he gets bored. And I think that's his problem now. He is so checked out and so bored.
It shines a light, though, on how good of a color commentator Kirk Herbstreit is, though. I really like him.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were about to say Chris Collinsworth, because that would have been
no.
one of the worst statements you've ever said.
I still like Chris Collinsworth more than you do, but Kirk Herbstreit is a top-tier guy.
Yeah. Well, no, I do agree, though. Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels were iconic, but I think it was more the fact that it was the games that they were calling were always good games.
Yes.
And so that's why it was so good. Plus, Al Michaels was fully in the loop. Like, he got pulled out of retirement to call Thursday Night Football because he got paid the absolute fucking bag.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just come out of retirement to call Thursday Night Football. He's getting paid a shit ton of money to do it. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to book it with beef. Brandon, how was your wildcard weekend?
I went 2 for 3, so not absolutely terrible, but still worse than I'd like to do. In the bank of Tampa Bay plus 2.5, obviously. Not great.
That was rough. That was rough.
But I covered Cincinnati, Baltimore over by a point. And then that
was the worst over overcall, and it somehow hit, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Dallas Tampa under by 0.5 point. So that's how I got my 2.
Wow. I think I went 1 for 4. So
he's back.
I'm not back. I'm back to being shit. I think the only thing I got was the Vikings and Giants over.
Okay, from here on out, Unless the Super Bowl, we might need to change it up. But from this point forward, for now,
I mean, yeah, that would make sense.
we will have either a favorite or a dog combined. Not like combined between the two of us, but like favorite or a dog, an over and an under, or an under, my bad. And then one player prop over and one player prop under, cannot be discounted yards or anything like that, or alternate yards.
Let's get into our picks, Brandon. Your spread for this week.
My spread for this week, it's free money. Not in the bank, but free money enough that I like it. Cincinnati +4 at Buffalo. We talked about it off air. It's a little bit of cheating that the points are this far, or the spread is this big. But Cincinnati, Joe Shiesty, Joe Cool, whatever you want to call him, he's going to go into Buffalo, and it's going to ruin Damar Hamlin's coming home party.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought this should be a pick'em, but I also just don't want to touch the spread in this game because I think it's just going to be a gross game. My spread for this week is the New York Football Giants +7.5. I think the Giants keep this one close. I think they might even win. I think they're definitely being undervalued for how good of a team they are, how well coached they are. Plus, Wink Martindale, great defensive coordinator. We'll see, though. They looked horrible when they played the Eagles at full strength. But I think that they will have a better game plan for this game. So, yeah, Giants +7.5. All right, Brandon, you're over or under for this week?
My points pick for this week, piggybacking off your game, Giants at Eagles, 48.5 under that. You always like to talk about how division games are closer. I could see this being one of them. I feel like 48.5 is a lot for these two teams. Like the fact that Daniel Jones has passed for 300 yards 3 times, and 2 of those times against the Vikings. That's not saying too much about how good of a quarterback he is. I think the Eagles kind of feast here.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this game. I've talked about this game. I think it's going to be a gross game. I got the under in Cincinnati versus Buffalo, 48. I think this is going to be more of a defensive battle than people think it is. I don't think there's going to be as much fireworks as much as it was to start that game that was played in Week 17 or canceled, I guess. But the Bills' offensive line has been horrible the last month. The Bengals are down 3 offensive linemen after this whole offseason of revamping that line to protect Joe Burrow. I'm pretty sure they're out 3 guys now, the left tackle, right tackle, and right guard. So I think both teams are able to get pressure on the quarterback, and both teams' pass defenses are very well. And Bills might get Micah Hyde back this week, so I think that definitely helps my case, but under in the Cincinnati at Buffalo game. All right, Brandon, your first player prop over.
My first player prop ever on Book It With Beef here. I'm really liking this. Got the Iowa State connection going. George Kittle, 51.5 receiving yards in the bank.
Straight cash, homie.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Brock Purdy loves to throw it to that man. George Kittle loves to get yards, especially after the catch. I don't see this Cowboys defense stopping him.
My over, I got another tight end, not George Kittle though. I got Dalton Schultz over 46.5, the other tight end in this game. Dalton Schultz played amazing against the Bucs. He has a great rapport with Dak Prescott, his second option in the passing game for Dak outside of CeeDee Lamb. I think he looks for him in this game as a security blanket because I think that it's going to be a tough test for them against the 49ers defense. And I think Dalton Schultz will rack up them yards. You're under, Brandon.
My player prop under for this week. I'm kind of hoping that you're right about the Bengals Bills because I got Gabe Davis under 56.5 receiving yards. I don't know. I feel like he's just not been as notable this year. I haven't heard his name as much. He's going to be forever known for the 4-touchdown game against Kansas City and then that 98-yard touchdown reception this year from Josh Allen. But I don't see it happening against this Cincinnati defense unless he goes against Eli Apple. Then all bets are off.
Did he just pop off last week?
I don't know. Did he?
I know
he's due to have a bad game if he did.
I know he had a touchdown and a couple long gains, receptions. I'm not going to say free money because when I say free money, it never hits. But this one, I mean, it's so good. Dawson Knox under 35.5. This dude catches like 2 passes for 8 yards and 2 touchdowns every game. So there's no way he has over 35.5 receiving yards. He catches literally, he's a red zone threat, and that's about it. Yeah, Dawson Knox, 35.5 under in the bank.
Straight cash, homie. Tell him to bring me my money.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us here at Certified Beef. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.